In addition to those design principles that inform our individual architectural projects, there are some overarching planning themes that inform what we do. And fundamentally, so starting at the heart of the campus, at the core, and title this Strengthening the Core, and I know to many at the University of Chicago that's the curriculum, and some it might be Pilates, but here it's the physical core of the campus, and it's saying that that is where it all began, that is the center, and let's not only improve the experience of the main quadrangles, but also begin to extend the impact of that to the east, to the west, and even north and south. So this is a diagram that's showing the most, if not all of the, well, a handful of these new programs along University Avenue, Woodlawn Avenue, and then 58th Street that are creating more of a critical mass at the center of campus, a critical mass of activity. And then, I don't know how many of you were here 5 years ago when we first began the transformation within the quadrangles to go from an open public street where there were idling trucks and basically the conflict of vehicles and pedestrians to today where we've been able to turn the main quadrangles truly into a place where instead of hearing the idling vehicles, there's conversation and there's birds singing. And it really is a place for the exchange of ideas at the heart of our campus. So what we want to do is begin to, and we've begun doing, and I know you see the construction fences out there, east and west, is to go from the heart and then expand along our primary east-west axis of 58th Street and north-south of Ellis Avenue. And begin to, certainly not to destroy the wonderful collegiate Gothic origins that we've inherited, but to really enhance what we love about them, but change the dynamic from that secluded, inward-focused, exclusionary feel to one that is more engaging in the public realm of the city around us. So here's the before and after of what was the administration building, is now Edward H. Levy Hall, where physically and visually you now get the sense that the quadrangles are there. My personal experience, when I was dropped off here for my first interview, I really thought that the cab driver had made a mistake. I mean, there were no signs. I had no idea that this was the entrance into the University of Chicago. So hopefully now people get dropped off and they know that they've truly arrived. And then looking to the east. So this is a rendering, an architect's rendering from the main quadrangles looking out to the east with the Booth School in the upper right, and the project that actually the construction fences should be coming down in about 3 weeks there, 2 to 3 weeks, opening up that whole block of 58th Street as another extension of the main quadrangles, and effectively moving the main entrance to the campus from the east to the foot of the Booth School and Frank Lloyd Wright's Roby House, probably the most, often acknowledged as the most significant work of residential architecture in the 20th century. And that's where you then enter the University of Chicago. So what had been a public street is now a paved path with increased landscape, and what had been walls that separated the courtyards of the former Chicago Theological Seminary from the street. Because after all, the seminary initially decided to locate here, but wanted it to be proximate to the university's divinity school, but really wanted to establish its own identity. So they used brick in an Elizabethan Gothic style to contrast a bit and basically walled themselves off. So we've brought those walls down to create, rather than hidden courtyards, a raised terrace that's accessible from this new pathway. And then the alley that had bifurcated the building, that central arch has become the new entrance into what is the new hall for economics. So that, again, will all be opening up very shortly. And when I think about the transformational possibilities of this project. I mean, how often do you get to add another quadrangle to a campus? So very exciting. What this will do when these projects are complete and a few more underway is basically change the former experience of the landscape of the campus from an episodic series of gardens and courtyards and quads into an interconnected network or a fabric that underlies the entire campus and ties it together. So that's often, on campuses, a very effective way when you've got a campus that is expressive of different architectural styles over time to create unity. Not uniformity, but unity, so that you can see and orient yourself and feel drawn to what's beyond and start to explore all aspects of the campus. And significantly, crossing Ellis Avenue, which historically really has been experienced as quite a barrier between the physical and biological sciences to the west, driven by technology and patient and visitor needs and all of that, and everything else to the east of Ellis. We're looking both in terms of connecting the existing open space, creating a new one up there, and then some work along Ellis Avenue to change it from a dividing line to more of a meeting ground or a main street for the campus.